We've got 2 weeks left in the regular season before playoffs hit for high school football, so no better time to check in with the St. John's Titans than by bringing in head coach Larry McDaniels. Coach, thanks so much for joining me today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
So the team started off 0-3, but then made that 3-game run. So what do you feel like changed to start to be able to find some success?
Well, a couple of things. One is the level of competition. Those first 3 games were really tough teams. Not to take anything away from the next 3 teams, but those first 3 teams were a tougher competition. And then just the general flow of the season. Your kids are going to get more comfortable doing what they do, more comfortable with the offensive and defensive systems, more comfortable with us as coaches, more comfortable with their teammates that they're playing left and right of. So I think that was the biggest thing, that the kids just got more comfortable, and then the level of competition was a little lower as well.
I know when we spoke in the preseason, there was a lot of emphasis and excitement for Aaron Lovett, but it feels like running back has kind of been done a bit more by committee. How have you had to make that adjustment for the team this season? Well,
Evan Skomowski just came on, and that's the thing about high school sports, and that's the thing about going out and practicing every day. Kids are going to get their opportunities, and when he had his opportunity, boy, did he shine. And he's continuing to shine. And the other thing is he's been healthy. So it's one of those kind of things that if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Speaking of another player who's seizing their opportunity, how have you liked the development that you've seen in Carson Polowitz leading the team?
Well, we knew going into it that it was going to be a 2-man battle at quarterback with Coy and with Carson. And unfortunately, Coy broke his wrist in an early scrimmage, so that kind of put him behind the 8 ball a little bit. And then Carson just kind of took it and ran. He's a great young man. The kids love him. He and Coy have a great working relationship. And what we do offensively really does kind of lean on his strengths, just from the standpoint of running the quarterback quite a bit like we do, how we run, how we want to get the ball on the edges, and then more of a play action passing kind of situation more than just a drop back situation. So we're very proud with his progression, and we're actually proud of both of their progression right now. So it's a good problem to have.
For yourself as a coach, you've made a couple stops in the Big Ten, in the MAC, but what do you feel like has really made St. John's stick as a place that you've wanted to stay?
Well, for me, it's the kids. The young men represent everything that's good in the world. I think right now there's such a backlash of young folks and people of my generation and my demographic are always talking about this generation of kids, this generation of kids, this generation of kids. But unless you work with them on a day in and day out basis like I do, and you talk about working with some of the absolutely finest young men in the city, that's the biggest draw, the fact that I get to work with those young men, and I know that there's a group of young men in our society that are going on and they're going to do great things. And that's what gets me up every morning, to get to go and work with those kind of kids.
And those kids, of course, then grow into collegiate athletes. So before I let you go, I have to ask, how fun is it to see Dallas Gant thriving the way that he has for the Rockets out on the gridiron every Saturday?
Well, it's a joy. I was very fortunate in the fact that when I came in, Dallas was a senior. Coach Pearson left the cupboard full. We had a bunch of Division I players. But not only were they Division I talent as far as on the football field, they're just Division I people. And if you know Dallas and you know his dad, and you know Rhonda, his mom, they're just first-class individuals. So what Dallas is experiencing now, we knew that was what he was going to do, wherever he was going to do it, whether that be Ohio State, University of Toledo, or wherever he decided that he was going to finish out. And we're happy that it's here at the local school and he's doing wonderful things.
That's great. Thanks so much, Coach, for coming in to join me today.
Thank you for having me.